All right, Firas, please come over. Firas Sleiman, he's the founder and CEO at ENN and KAIC. He's going to discuss particularly how to work with AI and side by side with the AI agents. Please, big round of applause for him.
So, clicker? Clicker should be there. Here.
Is it black?
Yes. Okay. Hello, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for staying in the afternoon after lunch when everybody is tired. And now my mic is falling.
Take this one.
This is okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's coming down.
See, that's why we need AI assistance. So we don't have to do presentations. All good? Thank you. All right, thank you. I'm Firas Sleiman. I hope to make you guys think a little bit in the afternoon, even though you may be sleepy from the food. We're going to talk a little bit about what is the future of business with AI. And I'm not going to talk about myself. I don't like slides that have me on them, so I'll get started immediately. So I think that many of you are here because you've used AI, and many of you are maybe building AI, right? How many of you here are not building AI, just using AI? Raise your hand if you're just users. Okay, just so I know what to say, not to scare people. All right, so, okay, good. So around half of you are just users of AI, probably interested in what's happening in the next 5 years, right? I used to say before, we used to have strategies for 10 years. Now we talk about strategies for 5 years, and I think that soon with AI, we're going to be talking about strategies for 1 year, because the acceleration is so quick. So there's AI everywhere. It's in the business. And the main question I will help you think about, not maybe answer today, but think about is, how do we work with AI in the next 5 years? How are we going to think about us in the workplace, in the enterprise, with AI? So currently, that's what you're doing in AI. You're basically doing data analysis. You're putting your ChatGPTs and your Geminis to work. It's faster. There's speed and automation. You can give it some data or files, and it just produces work. Right? So it is still basic, and I bet you, maybe I should make it a question, that many of you are thinking, okay, what else? Right? How many of you have gotten to the limit of ChatGPT or Gemini or anything where you feel like, okay, I get it. Like, what else can I do with AI? Raise your hand if you feel that way. Ooh. Okay, lots of hands. All right, so advanced users. All right. So, AI is great at handling data. Data in, data out, text in, text out, some images, some really cool stuff, right? But, it just gets a little bit tedious. It's done. We can do it. We know how to do it. Let's move on. Now, what's next? The next part that is coming very quickly at everyone is AI doing complex problem solving. Right? So now you are no longer sitting in front of AI saying, please write me this email and write it in a nicer way. It's now saying, I have 20 steps that I have to run today from morning till evening. Here's all my steps. Can you do all of them? Or maybe can you do some of them? But the steps are related to each other, right? I do need to read the news in the morning because I need to write 7 stories, and then I need to go and consult with my manager to get approval on these blogs that I'm writing. And then later, I need to generate images, but also they have to be compliant. So I have to send them to legal, and then I have to. So these are steps that are real, right? That's enterprise. That's how we work. And I mean, that's also the tip of the iceberg. So we want AI that just can do everything. Also, there's things that are more human. We call them human, but they have scientific terms for them. Things like, for example, moral and ethical judgment. So you look at something, and you're like, okay, these 2 people are fighting, and they came to HR, and I need to now decide ethically which one is right and which one is not. Right? Is this a task that AI can do? How many of you think that one day AI will do that? Not too many. Okay, you don't have a lot of faith in AI. Good. So you still feel like humans are necessary. Good. So, I mean, the tasks that you see on the right are getting closer to human tasks, things that we do much better than AI, much better than a machine in general. So cultural understanding, right? Which culture? I'm faced with this all the time. I mean, in the platform that we've created, we are asked that question by our users, especially in the Arab world, right? You ask a question related to marriage. Like which marriage, which country, which culture, which ethics, which laws, which rules, right? And what does that mean? I'm just saying, how do I get divorced? How do I get married? How do I, give a citizenship to my children? Where does that data come from? And how does it know who I am and what culture am I part of? This is cultural judgment and cultural understanding. And those are very important terms. And if AI wants to be really a companion to the enterprise, AI needs to be able to do that. So a lot is coming, and it is coming. So we guarantee that it is coming because we're building it at my company and in many of the companies that we're doing. So empathy, intuition, like, picking up on a conversation with a person, what does he mean? What does she mean? Why is she angry? Why is he very shouting at me? Things like that. And AI needs to have these cues. So this world is coming, and it may come sooner than you guys think. So we need to be ready for it. Okay, so what does this look like? If we wanted to imagine the next 5 years, I know it's going to probably happen much sooner than this. Okay, what does it look like? It looks like you go to work, you have access to an AI platform, and now you can just do work and you're guided or helped by an AI platform. You also have AI employees. It's maybe the new term, and we're coining this because we're actually building that platform. But you have AI employees. They're sitting next to you, or they're in the computer, or in your phone, or in your assistant, or you talk to them by voice, but they're doing work or part of your work. You're still the main player, but there's an AI employee or 2 or 10 or 100 sitting next to you, right? You also have the ability to use them, whoever you are. It doesn't really matter. If you are starting a company, right, you need to hire typically your first 5, 6, 10 employees. You're probably going to be thinking, can I get an AI employee to do this work at the beginning? And then see how many humans do I need? Those questions you're going to ask yourself very soon. And you remember me on this. Also, it's multiple use cases, right? So who are the experts? Subject matter experts in finance or HR or in agriculture, like the gentleman before me. And, so we need people that are experts, right? Now, you have to go find an expert. Find that PhD, find that person that knows. But AI is going to be there, and then there will be AI expert employees that you have access to, that have domain knowledge. You need to then start producing your goals. But now, your boss, your company, your enterprise, your shareholders, your investors are going to say, I want the work 100 times faster. Right? No one's going to say, oh yeah, you have a week to do this task, because people know that you can do it with AI. And so you are going to be faced with that reality. And then also budgets are going to change. You're going to say, if AI is doing it, does AI cost as much as a human? And can AI do it 1,000 times cheaper? This is actually a use case. We've benchmarked what our AI teams of employees can do versus what humans can do, and it is very close, anywhere between 500 to 1,000 times cheaper to use an AI a team of employees, than to use an assistant. A person, a human. Of course, humans are going to produce higher quality, but it's an economic analysis. So, and then it's going to keep growing. So what you can do today with your AI employee is different than what you're going to do in 2 weeks. Because someone is going to call you and say, hey, did you use that new assistant? Do you know that now we can trade our stocks completely and do the technical analysis with that assistant? And you're going to discover, oh yeah, I need to bring that AI assistant or AI employee to help me out. And now suddenly you have this new superpower. And it's going to keep growing because so much R&D, as you see in this event, so much R&D is happening. So this is going to keep happening. And you're going to run it securely, which means you can also give it all your data. So AI is going to run internally with your data. And so it's not just you talking to AI on the cloud. It's also you saying, hey, look at all of my files. I have these 10,000 RFPs that I've done in the last 5 years or 10 years. Please study all of them and give me what's the best RFP or what should I do right now for the next thing, or how should I cost this project, right? That's access to your data because it's run securely. And you are going to do it in multiple languages. So this is a rendition. This is maybe my futurist hat. What's going to happen in the 5 years? This is going to be a description of your employee life and your employees' life. If you have employees, that's what they're going to be faced with, and maybe a variation of this, but this is where everything is heading, as you see for this exam. So before I move to the next slide, is there anything I missed here? And how many people think that this is scary versus good? Scary. If you think this is scary and not good, raise your hand. Okay, not too many, all right. So a lot of excitement about AI. I guess maybe 4 or 5 people. I'll convince you guys later. All right, so let's look at how this looks like, all right. So you'll come in, you'll create your own AI employees. You'll give them access to your data and to tools, and then they'll put them in teams, and then you'll then tell them what you want them to do, like you give them a project plan, and then they'll actually do the work. Now, what work is a question. And I think this is the reason for this talk today, is let's decide together what work can we give to them, because we know that they're coming, and let's articulate what does that world look like. So the way that, I'm going to say one slide that is a little bit technical just so you understand how this works. The way that it works is that you're going to have teams with a hierarchy, right? There's going to be a supervisor AI, there's going to be multiple assistant AIs, and then you're just going to be talking to your team of AIs. And you give them an instruction, the supervisor looks at it, says, okay, let me just break it down into tasks, give it to everybody, all my other AI employees, and also include you, the human, in the loop. And then the AI employees are going to look at the work and say, okay, let me do my work, one step at a time, look at the history of the data, look at whatever enterprise data is given to me, what's the output format that you need. This is real, and we have demos to show this, right? I'm hoping actually to get the demo to put in front of you right now. So, and then the last one, they chain the data to each other, and the last one responds to the supervisor and says, I'm done. This whole thing, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, right? Full social media team, for example, working. A researcher, a blog writer, and then someone who publishes to LinkedIn or Instagram. 3 steps, 10 seconds, you're done. Okay? So then the final output is great output, right? Now the supervisor is going to say, I've completed the tasks, I have correct answers, I have accurate answers, I can repeat this 100 million times and give you different results if you want. And then I can also use multiple expert AI models. Like these assistants, they look like humans, but they're not. Each of them has different skills, and they are different models. You can have an OpenAI be the writer, because they can write in text, but you can have another model that is, for example, the image generation. You have a third model that is great at, for example, search or research on the internet, and each are different models that are orchestrated with each other in order to give you this activity. It's very similar to humans, but now you're actually doing this. We call it an agentic framework, an agent framework, together with the human, in response with the human. So how will we adapt? This is the awkward silence pause where everybody's like, is he going to ask us or is he going to answer it himself? Okay? Okay, how many of you think that we will adapt and it will be a very positive thing? Raise your hand if you think it's positive. Ooh, I like those hands. Okay, just so that we see the balance also. How many of you think that we're going to struggle in adapting, or it's going to be slow, or it's going to be hard to adapt to a world where these things happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, you guys will battle it out. All right, so I'm going to tell you one thing about the difference between humans and AI, and then we'll talk about the recommendation. What should we think of? All right. So the main differences between human and AI, and there's a lot of studies, this is one of the major studies that has happened also, is 3 major areas, right? So Humans, so humans are on the right, AI on the side. In terms of learning, okay, AI needs a lot of data, very expensive process to learn, a lot of data. So I'll give you a typical scenario. Your ChatGPTs, your Geminis have cost more than $1 billion per version. And they have taken on over 250 million books and over 1.5 trillion tokens, we call them tokens like parts of a word, of data. That's how much data you need to train AI in order for it to become like a ChatGPT or like a Gemini. Right? So it's very expensive to train. While humans can learn from 2 or 3 different steps. You can show a human just the same thing 2 times or 3 times, and then immediately learn it, and they can replicate it, and then they start improving it when they learn. So the learning process is still very far. Humans are far better at learning than AI, far better. One. Second one is imagination and recitation. Okay, so AI can recite information like ChatGPT or Gemini, and it seems like it's imagining things, but if you dig into it, it's actually regurgitating data. It's taking data that it's trained, putting it together, and saying, here's what I think the answer is. You're like, oh, this is creative. The reason why it's creative is because it came from 250 million books, not because it's creative. Okay, so it is a regurgitation of data. While AIs are able to create new synapses and new neurons in your brain, humans can create new thought that is derivative, that is imaginative, that is different. Maybe it's inferred, maybe it's correlated to what we have in terms of history or life experiences, but it's new, as in that we've never seen that data before, so we've created it from inference, right? And that creativity is still, we're still very far ahead as humans from AI. And the last one is multisensory input. Of course, humans have bodies. They can feel, they can touch, they can have hormones, they have, the interaction. So on judgment, on intuition, we are still humans, and AI is still a machine. So in reality, AI is great at data analysis and usage of data, and humans are great at decision making. Now, of course, I'm guiding you towards the answer of what we need to do. And I have a theory that I'm going to put together, and then we'll open it up, and I'll get some, maybe they hate and people will cancel me for saying this. But so data analysis, remember, is AI's power. Humans, decision making, and maybe intuitive decision making, I would say, that's our power. Now, it's not a rivalry, right? AI is trying to get to that side, but I think we're far ahead. Humans are far ahead. Okay? So what does that mean? So this is my theory of how we should use AI in the enterprise. And then I know it may be popular or unpopular. I call it the AI-prepared enterprise decision-making. Meaning there's a sequence, right? If this was your assistant that you saw every day when you came to your office, that's your AI employee, this is what your AI employee should say. Should say, you just came to work at 11 right now, so good morning. Last night, the AI marketing team gathered all news about 10.ai and generated 18 ideas for social media posts that you could enhance with your competitive advantage. They could use to enhance, that could enhance your competitive advantage. Now, we need you, so this is your AI employee telling you, when you came to work on your phone, in your bed at 11 a.m. We need you to pick your top 3 favorites and provide us feedback so we can modify them and post them to LinkedIn and Instagram. Would you like me to show them to you right now? So the paradigm, probably clear to everyone. Everything that AI is good at is data related. So why not AI processes the data ahead of time for me? And I'm great at decision making and as intuitive, empathetic, ethical, moral decision making. So if all the decisions are prepared, then this has simplified my life by so much. Okay? So this is the premise of what we're doing. And I'm going to tell you finally why. Why we think that the future is going to hold this for you. I call it the happiness model. Okay? There's a reason why we're building AI. The Turing concept is there's a reason for it. That today you have an idea and a problem. You use time, as you see. You put human effort, time, and money, and you produce a product, a solution, or value. That's what you do today. The promise of AI, same idea. Let AI process it first and give you the product, the solution, and the value, but in options. And then, in the same amount of time remaining, see, because look at time. Now AI has already done the product before you. So you can apply your strengths, human creative effort. Use your creativity, your intuition, your experience. And, of course, still use AI, but now you're being creative. And what will this give us? You notice like there's a big space on the right side, right there. Much bigger space. Ooh, I like the phones. Just all went up. Take pictures. Okay, so with this, you can create more impactful products, more advanced solutions. You can be more diversified. You can create more innovation, disrupt more, create crazy ideas, things that you've never thought were possible, because you freed your time to be human and creative. That is AI. And this is my formula, and hopefully you'll remember me for it. But there's one more line that's going to show up in this empty space right here. And it says, this creates happier humans. Because if you don't have to do the tedious tasks, and you give them all to your AI employees, and they do them, and they prepare them, and you wake up late, and you go on vacation as much as you want, and you can do everything remotely, and you are happier, right? At least I would be happier. I don't know, some of you may not. But also, you create more successful enterprises because you can do a lot more, a lot better output, and a lot higher quality. And that is the happiness model that I hope that you all will find. Thank you, and we'll open it up for questions.
All right, we only have time for one question.
Ooh.
And make it brief, since we are already up. I think you're getting enough for now. Looks like.
Thank you.
I will have to restrict you to 30 seconds, please.
How do you take your existing code base and make it agentic?
Your existing core base, you mean your
Code base.
Your code base. Is it AI code base or regular software?
Regular software that we have developed over years.
Since I don't have a lot of time, I will answer you later for more detail. But for now, I'll tell you, you can use agents to convert your code base into agentic tools so that whatever you have right now that runs, your models, your APIs that currently run, your e-services, all of those are now invoked by workflows running in those teams. You create AI teams of assistants, and then they invoke your existing code. Don't throw away your code. Leave everything as is, and let your agents orchestrate your solutions. But we can talk also in detail.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause, please.
Thank you.